Welcome everyone to the second annual Compassionate Leaders Circle Awards, celebrating leaders who use their influence to make a positive impact on people and planet. We define compassionate leaders as people who use their heads and their hearts to inspire and influence others, to use their heads and their hearts to inspire and influence others. And we got over 160 nominations from around the world, dozens of different sectors, from technology and manufacturing to sports and entertainment, from universities, faith communities, nonprofit organizations. There's no shortage of examples of compassionate leaders.
Somebody I was interviewing when I was working on this, they told me you can't win a war with solely a head or solely a heart. So I would say that you have to be empathic to the audience that you're catering to the people you're speaking, because they each have their own nuances and their problems. Don't let the rationality make you any less human, and your humanity make you any less brilliant, logical, and forward in your thinking.
What are the things that keep us from being confident? Things like self-doubt or comparison or fear or anxiety. And sort of the antidote for some of those are something meaningful like gratitude, grace, and patience. But what inspires confidence is when we apply those words to ourselves.
But the real collaboration comes with our diverse and very inclusive staff or team.
The key to collaboration is very, very simple, and Debs and I practice that every day. You have to be humble, leave the ego at the door. You have to listen. You have to be tolerant. On the cards of Space Hero a lot.
Collaboration is really the fun part of what we get to do, and we get to really talk the talk and walk the walk.
The risk we take is our suffering of our own mental health, and oftentimes the projects that we deeply desire to deploy. When we don't take the risk on ourselves, I think we risk not being productive and not being able to give our best to our projects that we want to give.
To bring greater enlightenment to someone, you have to have the knowledge, but you also have to have the understanding. And the validation of that knowledge is where you get to that understanding. And that's where civility lives. It lives in that space where you validated that someone understands you as a person, but ultimately it's our differences that can bring us together. And that is through civility.
I think curiosity is helpful because it helps you formulate and say out loud questions that can question everything. What would it look like if we started the food system from scratch? What would it look like if we all consume meat that's entirely free of slaughter? And that's where I think curiosity has helped me. It's helped me to see through a lot of what is and ask if it could be different.
In my role at Allbirds as the Chief People Officer, leading through a pandemic, I had to venture in a lot of really difficult conversations. And I had to do it with vulnerability and humility, because I was always disappointing somebody, which required me to really lean into the discomfort and choose courage over comfort. What I got out of it was a greater connection, and I was able to develop a foundation of trust. Even though I was always sort of disappointing someone, they saw that it came from a genuine place.
I'd like everyone who's in attendance today to know that compassion is in you, and we're all compassionate, and we all have the ability to become more compassionate. I'd like to leave you all, including our honorees, with, when in doubt, throw love at it. So if you're having a hard time with yourself or disappointing yourself, love yourself more. If you're dealing with a problem at work, love the problem. If you're watching CNN and someone's upsetting you, find a bigger heart and find some love for that person.